Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's Monday, and Monday we have our story problem. So today's story problem is about something so yummy and delicious, and I haven't had these in so long that I think I'm just gonna go outside and grab some because this story problem is really making me hungry. I'm gonna read the story problem. I won't eat as many as in the story problem though.
Oh,
So remember, when we do a story problem, we want to do 3 reads. The first read is to read the problem and really understand what is going on and who the characters are. The second read is to figure out what the number set represents in our story. And our last read is to understand what we're being asked to do. So remember, 3 reads, and they all are very important. We all have a job to do in each one of these reads. So make sure you're paying attention so you understand what you need to be focusing on during each read. Okay, so for this read, I am going to read it out loud. And while I'm reading it, remember, we want to envision the problem so that we really understand who the characters are and what the character is doing. Okay. Abril bought a big bag of yummy, delicious gummy worms. The bag had gummy worms. Abril ate gummy worms. How many gummy worms does Abril have now? So let's take a minute to think about who is the character in the story and what is the character doing. So remember, boys and girls and friends, you can pause the video if you need more think time, and my teachers, they're going to put their thumb up when they're ready to answer the question. So Miss T, who is the story about?
it's about my student April.
So Avril loves gummy worms in this story. I don't know if she really does. I hope she does because they're delicious. But she really likes them in this one. And what is she doing in this story problem, Miss Rosales?
She is eating some of them, not all of them, some of them from the bag.
Some of them from the bag. Beautiful. So now we're going to do our second read, and Miss Rosales is going to pick our number set for today.
Let's do the hardest one, 87 and 26.
Ooh, okay. She wants to challenge herself. And how do you know that one's the hardest one? Or why do you say it's the hardest one?
That is the norm in our classes, that we have the most challenging one on the far right. And since this is our second week with subtraction, we should feel more comfortable.
Yeah. And they are bigger numbers, right? So I know they look a little scary when you look at big numbers, but they're nothing to be afraid of because they're just tens and ones. So I'm going to put the numbers in, and Miss T, can you read the story problem for us? Remember, this is our second read, so we're thinking about what do these numbers represent in our story?
Sounds good. Abril bought a big bag of yummy, delicious gummy worms. The bag had 87 gummy worms. Abril ate 26 gummy worms. How many gummy worms does Abril have now?
Beautiful. So what do these numbers represent? So let's look at the number 87. And remember, friends at home, you can pause the video to really give yourself some more think time if you need it. Miss Rosales, what does the 87 represent in this story problem?
87 represents the total amount of gummy worms that were in the bag in the first place.
Yeah, and that's a big bag of gummy worms because I don't think I've ever seen a bag of 87 gummy worms.
Big Lots.
Really? I've never seen that. Maybe I need to go to Big Lots to pick up some gummy worms because that's really great. And what does the 26 represent, Ms. T?
It's how many gummy worms she ate from the bag.
And so how many gummy worms did Abril eat?
26. That's a lot.
That's a lot, Abril. I hope that you're brushing your teeth after that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of candy. So she had 87 gummy worms in the bag in the first place, right? When she bought the bag, there were 87 gummy worms in there. And then she ate how many?
26.
26. So we really want to think about that. If she's eating a gummy worm, is that gummy worm going to still be in the bag? No, it's gone, right? It's no longer there. It's in her tummy. So she's going to be taking some out of the bag and eating them. They won't be there anymore.
Mhm.
So we have to think about that when we answer this problem. So the third read, we're going to read the story and we're thinking about what are we being asked to do. Ms. Rosales, can you read the story this time for us?
Sure. Abril bought a big bag of yummy, delicious gummy worms. The bag had 87 gummy worms. Abril ate 26 gummy worms. How many gummy worms does Abril have now?
So Ms. Rosales, what are we being asked to do in this problem?
We are asked how many gummy worms does Abril have now after she has eaten some?
And that was the question I was just going to ask you. What does this now mean?
Yes.
Now means after she ate them, right? So first, so think of it like a story. This is a big story. So first, Abril probably went out to go buy these delicious gummy worms. She brought them back home and she had 87 in her bag. But then she decided, I want to eat some of these gummy worms. So she ate some and she kept eating some until she ate 26. So those 26 are no longer going to be in there. So let's think about that. Is she going to have more than 87 or less than 87? I see Mr. Rosales already knows. What do you think, Miss T?
She's going to have less.
Less. Why do you say less?
Because when you eat something and it's gone, when something's gone, that means you don't have it anymore. So you have less than what you started with.
So she'll have less than 87 gummy worms. So now, teachers, is your time to use a strategy that you think is efficient. Remember, efficient means quick and correct, that you can use to solve this problem. And remember, friends at home, you can pause the video to give yourself more working time. And then when you're ready, press play again. And then I'll wait for my teachers to just put a thumb up when they're ready to go. All right. Miss Rosales, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. How about you go first, Miss Rosales?
8, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so this is what I have.
Ooh, that number line.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did?
So I was looking at trying to either, I know that I was comfortable with a number line. I just didn't know if I wanted to count backwards or count on the number line. And I felt that since I had 26 and I just needed one more for 27, I figured I could do multiples of 10 after that. So I decided I'm going to start with 26 and then add 1 to make 27 and then skip count by tens until I got to 87.
So I see that you're adding, but aren't we subtracting in this problem? So I'm kind of confused. Can you explain this to me?
So 26 of the gummy worms are gone. So that's the part you don't see. Those are the ones that are missing. So then what's left are the ones that are in the bag. So if I had this number line keep going this way, you'd see all the chunk of gummy worms that she ate. And now I'm looking at the part in the number line that is left inside the bag.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the 26 just represents how many she had eaten. And so we're focusing on how many more, not how many more, but how many we have left.
How many more are, how many, are left in the bag.
Okay. So you went 26 and you wanted to get to a number that was familiar to 87, because 87 and 26, they both have the same number of ones. That's why you wanted to choose 27?
Yes.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, so you went plus 1 to 27, and then what did you do?
And then I skip counted by tens until I got to 87.
So 27 plus 10 is 37, plus 10 more is 47, plus 10 more is 57, and then 10 more is 67, 10 more is 77. And 10 more is 87. And I know, Miss T, these spaces are not very even. So that would be something that I want to work on in the future, is making those spaces even. So I got to 87, and I want to show how many I added. Even though you can tell, I just want to be very clear with my audience or my reader so that they know exactly what I did. So plus 10.
I'm sure it's so hard to do it on the computer too, so.
Yeah, it really is. So plus 10 more. Okay. And then now what happens, Mr. Zales?
I added all my 10s. I skip counted by 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I had 60 and one more that were left in gummy worms that were left inside the bag. So I did 60 and 1 makes 61.
So 61 gummy worms, oops, are left in the bag. And this is a very interesting strategy, because it shows how subtraction and addition are related, right? They're a fact family. So if we had 26 plus 61, that gives us our 87. And another way we can write this is 87 minus 26 gives us 61. And then another way, remember a fact family, they're all related, is 87 minus 61 equals 26, right? So we had 87 in the bag, or Abril had 87 gummy worms in her bag. She ate 26, and now what's left over is 61 gummy worms. Beautiful. Miss T, can you share your strategy with us?
Yes. So I did the 87 minus 26 strategy, and I did it with the 10s and 1s. And so the first thing I did was I drew 87 in my 10s and 1s. So I did 8 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I did 7 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I remember, because we're subtracting, since she doesn't have the gummy worms anymore, I took away 26. And I always start with my 1s place first, because I always want to make sure I have enough 1s before I move on. So I took away 6 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I had enough with 1 left over. And then I took away 2 10s after that. So I crossed out 2 10s. Mm-hmm. And then what I had left over in the 10s was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I came up with 61.
Beautiful. So she used the 10s and 1 strategy. And the first thing she did was wrote her 10s using 87. We have 8 10s. So I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 10s. And then we have 7 1s. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then she knew that this was subtraction, right? We have 87, and I'm going to write that right up here. Her number sentence was 87 minus 26, because we don't have those 26 gummy worms anymore. Abril already ate them. So we're taking those away. And so I'm going to use red to show our subtraction. So she started with the 1s first, and she took away 6 1s. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then she went to the 10s, and she took away 2 10s. 1, 2.
And I purposely drew my 10s by 1s and in like tally marks, but I didn't do the tally because I knew that if I was going to cross it out, I might get confused later as to how to cross it out. So boys and girls at home, you might just want to draw them singly when you're drawing your 10s, so that when you do cross them out, you know which one's actually crossed out and which one's not.
That's a great tip, Miss T. Thank you. Because yeah, when we do tally marks, it represents something else. Because when we do the 5, we close the door on 5, right? To make sure that that represents 5. But it's easier when we're doing 10s and 1s to just write sticks or our 10 rods. And that's what that represents. Those lines are our 10 rods. So thank you for that. So now I know I have 1, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10s. And so my answer is 61, the same as Miss Rosales' answer that she got. So let me write that here in our number sentence, 61. And can I have Miss Rosales, can you read the sentence for us of how many gummy worms Abril has now?
Sure. Now Abril has 61 gummy worms.
Beautiful. So we used a challenging number set, and you can use it too. You have so many strategies that you can use to show your work using this strategy, or you can use a different number set. We have 3 other number sets that you can play with and challenge yourself to do. And today, this week, starting this week for our seesaw activity, I'm including 2 pages of our story problem so that you can try 2 different number sets. So you can give yourself that opportunity to try it 2 times. If you feel like, oh, I did this strategy or I did this number set, but I want to try a different number set too. So you have that opportunity as well. So remember to do your best and keep trying. All of the strategies are brilliant as long as you're showing your work and you're explaining what your math thinking is. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.